Lord Friendly 96 with myself and Alice Bell.
Hello,
Is that your Russian accent?
my name is Elizabeth. I don't know. That was bad.
Good enough.
Nah.
Yeah, because you're drinking vodka, so you need to be in character.
Completely unintentional. I'm drinking strawberry flavored vodka.
Does that really count?
It is delicious.
Is it vodka
delicious.
if there's strawberry flavor in it? I mean,
Well, it's got alcohol in it. It's great for making cocktails.
you're probably banned from Poland or wherever they invented vodka. Was it Poland?
Russia.
Are you sure?
It's Russia. It's Russia. It's potato juice.
Because I'm pretty sure somebody that I know who's Polish, because I think I said it was Russian, and then they corrected me. History. Brought from Poland to Russia. There you go.
Oh yeah, because my friend goes to I think it's Krakow quite frequently, and they always buy loads of
Your friend Brand the Broken.
yeah, and he always comes back with just loads of really cheap vodka
Oh, nice.
from the duty free. So I'm kind of tempted to go. Honestly, is Krakow in Poland? I think it is.
Yes. Our friend of the show, Jennifer Hedwig, I think lives there now in Krakow. And Ariana, of course, is Polish.
Yeah,
She lives
there we
in
go.
Warsaw. So if you're looking for a more touristy place to visit, you can visit Warsaw. But she says it smells like piss, so I don't know if you're a fan of piss-smelling cities, piss-scented cities.
It's not something that I get on very well with. I went to London, and it wasn't my kind of jam, you know?
Yes. London, another one of those famed piss-scented cities.
Apparently, there's been a survey that was done quite recently that named the 10 worst towns to live in England, the 10 most unhealthy towns to live in England. 6 of them were in London, just because of how much pollution's in the air and the proximity to takeaways and things like that. I weighed up all these different things, but
The Fatberg is in London, I believe, right? Or no?
yes, it is actually. Yes, you're quite right.
So lots of used condoms and the smell of piss in the air. Do you think it's like an aroma that you just get used to? Kind of like, you know how everyone's house has a certain smell, but the people who live there don't really smell it because they just get acclimated to it in some ways?
Yeah, I can't imagine it's something that I'd want to get used to.
True, because then you don't know if your shit stinks, more or less, or if your piss stinks, I guess, because you're...
Well, it's like Nottingham smells of fresh air.
Does it?
Which is quite unusual, yeah. It used to be known as a garden city. And now I don't live in the city centre, I live a little bit more on the outskirts of the city centre. But, quite nice. You know, we've got a lot of greenery around us. Like, I'm looking out my window at the minute and there's a load of trees outside of my window.
So it actually does have gardens. It's not like New Jersey, the garden state, which is basically just freeways and more piss.
Yeah.
I've never been to New Jersey, so I'm speaking in stereotypes that I've seen from TV, so,
Apologies.
apologies to people who are actually from New Jersey who think it does have lovely gardens. I'm sure it does, otherwise...
It's all misleading.
Too many episodes of The Sopranos, I guess. It's just, you get this view of the world.
I've been thinking that I want to watch The Sopranos.
Me too, I've never seen it.
I think I've decided. So, one of my favourite YouTube commentators, Lindsay Ellis, she put out a fantastic series on The Hobbit, by the way, that's been nominated for a Hugo Award, as in the fantasy awards and sci-fi awards that George R. R. Martin's won a ton of, which is absolutely fantastic. It's so cool. But she's just started a series on Game of Thrones.
Oh.
And it talked about The Sopranos there. 6 seasons. And honestly, sounds like my cup of tea.
Does it? It's one of those shows that has been super popular, and it's part of the whole public consciousness. Everybody knows about it, but I never actually watched it myself. I mean, I guess Game of Thrones is
exactly,
that for some people. But yeah, I mean, HBO, it's one of their original flagship shows.
It's heralded as having started the golden age of television.
So maybe it is worth a watch. The Wire, though, is something I would recommend watching.
Maybe that could be something that we go back to as we're...
Yeah. We could go back and watch some old things and comment on them.
As we're struggling for content.
And yell our angry opinions. Speaking of which, Stranger Things is coming on Netflix soon. Are you excited about that?
The thing is with Netflix, and I've said it before, the first series are great, and then it goes down and down and down. You know what? The new fucking Jessica Jones came out.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched even all of season 2.
I haven't finished season 2 because it just lost my interest.
Yeah.
Like the first series of Jessica Jones, I've watched it I think 4 times now because it was absolutely fantastic. And everyone that I knew who I could get to watch it, I would watch it with. Like, this is what me and James spent for our first month dating, is we watched Jessica Jones, because it's that good a show. So I've watched it about 4 times now.
Yeah, that must be true love if he was willing to sit through that 4 times with you.
He only sat through it with me the once.
Oh, okay.
It was other people who had to sit through it with
Because
me.
by the 3rd time, I would have just completely bailed. But no.
But yeah, so first series of Jessica Jones, absolutely fantastic. Loved it. It was great. And then the second series, it just felt like it lost some of its spark.
Yes.
And it was the same case with Orange is the New Black. First series, really, really good. I loved the slow peeling away of Piper's character and how she was slowly revealed to not be a good guy. That was really good and really good writing. But then the second season came along, the third season came along, and it just dropped off in quality. And it was the same thing with Stranger Things 2.
So you're not excited first?
I want to be excited for it because I have heard from other reviewers that season 2 of Jessica Jones was a dip, and this third season actually pretty good. So I'm hoping that Stranger Things 3 does a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to also have lower expectations. Because honestly, if you think it's going to be the world and then it sucks, it just makes it all much more worse. But yeah, I mean, Netflix is coming out with a bunch of stuff. They announced also The Witcher, I guess. I wanted to say The Witcher 4, but it's not. It's The Witcher.
It's the TV show.
It's the TV show, yeah.
With
Starring
Henry Cavill.
Yes. How do you feel about that casting choice?
Honestly, put on a good performance, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It feels stupid to judge a casting decision before you see what they can do with the casting. It's like, I'm sure that when Peter Dinklage was announced for Destiny, everyone was like, oh shit, Peter Dinklage, we love Peter Dinklage. And then look what we got.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And the counterpoint is basically Heath Ledger. Everyone killed that casting choice.
Oh, God, yeah.
He actually was like one of the best Jokers that have ever played the role. Like him and Mark Hamill probably are the two. But yeah, I mean, just from a physical appearance thing, like not judging like the acting or anything of that, it does look a little bit like not Geralt. Like Geralt's stunt double more or less.
He looks too pretty to be Geralt.
Yeah. It would be different if the Witcher games weren't so photorealistic. Like if they were like in the 1980s and we were looking at a bunch of pixels. Like it feels like Mario. Mario's like 5 pixels. He can look like anything as long as you give him a mustache. But
as it stands, it looks like a person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So it's not like a book where you're seeing a book being adapted onto the screen.
Right.
In that, you've got a description of the character, but it's just in your mind and you can project that onto whoever's cast for it.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't say Catelyn Stark was how I pictured her to look, but once that became the depiction, what's the actor's name? Michelle Fairley?
Yeah.
Then that's what she looked like. I mean, it's the same for pretty much all the characters in Game of Thrones. It's just that look was the first visual you got of that character, and so that became what they look like.
See, I think that Sansa's the only character that I think of differently in terms of their book counterpart. Because I always think of Sansa as looking like a young Michelle Fairley. Because they're meant to be so physically similar.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think when they cast Sophie Turner, they had a different person cast for Catelyn Stark. And she looked more similar. Because there was the whole thing with the pilot where they had to refilm loads of bits of the pilot.
I mean, it makes sense narratively, too, with Littlefinger being obsessed with Cat and then being obsessed with Sansa. Less.
But going back to the thing, with video games, especially the way that video game graphics are going, because the Witcher games aren't necessarily stylized, I know it's a very general way to put it, but because they don't have a specific art style beyond going towards photorealism, it's not like an anime-based game.
Right.
Or something. You have this image of what the character looks like, and so no real life actor who comes into the role is going to look right.
Exactly. I mean, we'll see. Maybe because he's so passionate about the character and the books and the role that he'll be good for it. It's just visually, it's like, that's not Geralt. It's a little bit easier with Yennefer and Ciri because they haven't been as prominent in the games.
Yeah.
I think.
They're not the main character.
Yeah. You don't look at his face in every single conversation when you play the game. I mean, you don't look at their faces. You look at his face. It's like half the game is looking at Geralt's face. So it's to the point where, I mentioned before, I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I basically just call the male character Greek Geralt because he looks just like Geralt, and only he has brown hair.
Yeah.
It's like that face is like almost iconic. It's everywhere. So
it's one of the mascots for this generation of video games.
Exactly. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit weird. It's going to take some getting used to that this guy is Geralt, but what that means in terms of how good the show is, who knows? We're probably going to watch it anyway.
I must say, one thing that I do like is that they have committed to making Henry Cavill wear contact lenses.
He's going to have the Witcher eyes?
Yeah, so that he's got the Witcher eyes. Because that was where the whole gripes about Game of Thrones started.
Daenerys.
No, the thing with eyes, it dates back to the Harry Potter adaptations, right? Where they always talk about how Harry's got his mother's eyes. And there was this one scene in the last film where Snape is dying, and he says to Harry, "Let me look into your eyes, your mother's eyes." And I think it flashes back to Lily. She's got green eyes. Daniel Radcliffe does not have green eyes. That was the start of my bitterness regarding fucking eye colour in adaptations. The thing is, though, the problem could have been so easily solved by casting Lily as having his coloured eyes.
Yes.
Lily is like, in the grand scheme of things, she has a whole total of like a minute of screen time over the entire series. They could have easily cast somebody or made the person who was cast as her wear the same colour contact lenses as Daniel Radcliffe's eyes. That's all they needed to do, but they didn't do that. And that is why I hate Harry Potter. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Yes. Should just do a redo of the whole movie, except at the end it like dubs out the word eyes, and he says like, "You have your mother's hair," or some shit.
You have your mother's... No, the hair's even worse because Lily's
true.
ginger.
You have your mother's scarf. Dub it over with something that has no genetic association.
You have your mother's right incisor. I mean, I feel like that would work for Snape. Snape's a pretty creepy dude.
That is true. Maybe he could like comment on his nose hairs or something.
Ah, yes. You have your mother's nose hairs.
They're very wispy and long, and it's what I loved about her most.
And they curl.
Yes.
It gives you something to hold on to.
It's very dramatic, this scene.
Yeah.
Dramatic and awkward, but you know.
Yes.
But yeah, now that we've fixed the entire Harry Potter series.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that they've committed to either doing something in post or making him wear contact lenses. Because as an actor, and as somebody who does wear contact lenses, I admit, contact lenses can be pretty annoying sometimes.
No.
You know? But at the same time, I appreciate that he's going through the efforts to wear them, especially because coloured contact lens technology has far advanced since 2011.
No.
So you can get coloured contact lenses that at the same time correct your vision.
Yes, that's important if he has bad vision.
Yeah.
We don't want a blind Geralt out there.
No. Stumbling about. Oh no, I tripped. Oh no, my silver sword. Oh no, it went into a human being. Oh no, that was meant to use for monsters.
Mistakes Ciri for Yennefer and vice versa, and just all kinds of weird shenanigans. It's just, it's not good.
By weird shenanigans, you mean sex scenes, because it's a Witcher adaptation, so it's gonna have sex scenes.
Yeah, it's definitely striving into like fanfiction territory or slash fiction, I should say.
Yeah.
Although that gets into creepy territory. Ciri being his daughter, so.
Yeah.
Although they're not blood related, though, right?
It's like adopted, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played Witcher 3. I can't afford that
So
shit.
it'll be fine for you. You won't be used to looking at Geralt's face for like 40 hours of the game.
No, but I know what he fucking looks like.
And it's not Henry Cavill, yeah.
And it's not Henry Cavill. No, you know what? I'm interested to see what this is going to be, because I know that in some aspects, a lot of people are going to want it to be a flat-out version of the video games, but at the same time, The Witcher is a series of books. It's going to be a very interesting line to toe to see
Wouldn't they just
how
follow
far
the
they
books?
lean into the book adaptation, or if... Because with the art direction that they've gone for, and the costuming and things like that, they've clearly leaned on the video games.
Oh, that is true.
But when it comes to the actual storyline, the interactions between characters, things like that, it's going to be interesting to see if they go down the route of the games, which I know are classed as being quite faithful to the books, or whether they lean more into the books. So that's going to be an interesting dichotomy to balance, because your fan base, at the end of the day, the main fan base is going to be the game players. But there's going to be a lot of book readers out there, so which way are they going to go?
I think they would probably lean toward the books, just because, one, you only have to pay one person. You got to pay the author. You don't have to pay CD Projekt for rights to any story. Plus, it probably is more of a one-to-one adaptation that way. It's just it's more linear.
Yeah.
You're not like stepping on people's choices in the video game, and video games are just a different medium. It's a lot harder to translate that. So, as many have found out, with little success.
Yeah.
And so I do think that they're going to take visually inspiration from the video games, just because it's there. You can see it, although they didn't do it with Geralt. But I mean, his costume, his armor, and all that, they're going to take a lot of inspiration from that. But in terms of the story, it'd be easier to just follow the books. I mean, or they might do something original. Who knows? I mean,
like go into the lore of the books and do their own.
Yeah, because the books they're a bunch of short stories, right? They aren't like one big long narrative like the Wheel of Time or Game of Thrones is, right? So
You have your short story collections, and then it goes into novels.
yeah, so I mean, you could make that somewhat episodic and then like string together a larger narrative, but it's definitely not like Game of Thrones where you could just copy it straight until you run out of source material and then you have to wing it. But
Yeah.
It's another story. But yeah, there is this weird sort of cross section where you have visual mediums like movies and TV, where you have live actors or live action people, and then you have the other medium which is video games, where you have these crafted characters, and which you basically make out of nothing, right? And so there is this kind of like weird loss of immersion. I don't know, for lack of a better word. It just feels off when you see someone in a live action version and you're used to them looking a certain way. And the opposite is true with that new Avengers game, right? Where they showed all the Avengers in the video game.
Stunt doubles.
They do. They look like stunt doubles. It's weird. It's off because you're so used to seeing them as their actors in the movies. We've grown to love and to know and love them for across this last decade watching these movies, and it's like, wait a minute, these aren't the Avengers. Who are these people? They got the B-list actors. They got the discount Avengers. It's just it's the knockoff ones. I don't know. Which is a weird thing for me to say because I've been for crafting original faces in video games. Yeah. But yeah, for some reason it feels off.
But it's like I'm looking at a reveal trailer screenshot of Black Widow and Captain America, and the faces are so generic as well, so it's not like they've gone out to give them a character to make them look like realistic people or anything. They just look super generic.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be just that they have potato faces and it's just like off. I don't know.
Like the Hulk looks like the Hulk because the Hulk is the Hulk.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thor, he just looks so bad. Like he's just got this most awfully boring face. Like he's got the same face as Steve Rogers and they just stuck a beard on him. Like there was no love put into the character design.
It's kind of like if someone gifted you your favorite album full of your favorite songs, but then you play it and all the songs are sung by the lead singer of Creed.
Nah. Or it's all Kids Bop.
What kind of hellish nightmare would that be? What's his name? Scott Stapp?
Sorry, I'm just spellbounded by how awfully generic these faces are. I'm just keeping on looking through the screenshots, and they all look the same, but with different hair colours.
True, Captain America does look a lot like Black Widow in this screenshot I'm looking at.
Yeah!
It's like Captain America with a wig.
Joke. It's so every face that they've got is so basic and so generic. It's like they've not attempted to give them any character. It's like, at this point, just use the fucking actors' likenesses, mate.
I feel like that might be something of a cost-saving measure or something with video games.
You do have to pay to use an actor's likeness.
Not only that, but I mean in terms of why they look similar, because I take Skyrim or Fallout or any game with a character creator, no matter what you do with the character creator, like you can change the face in so many different ways, it still kind of looks like the base face. Like Courtney Taylor, I think, is the actor for the female version, and the male version, Brian, I forget his last name, but it looks like Brian, the base character, and the base character looks like Courtney. And I think no matter what you do, it still looks like those faces, even no matter how hard you try to customize it. So I think maybe that's the same thing is going on here with the Avengers. Like they have a base face to work with, and they're trying to tweak it and make it look different, but it kind of ends up looking the same. And like the extreme example of that would be Oblivion, where there's only where every face, it's got a character creator, but every face is gonna look potato-ish, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe as the technology advances, the character creators will have more uniqueness to them. But yeah, we'll see. Could be that. Could be that's why the Black Widow looks like Captain America with lipstick and a wig. So.
But yeah, they are very confident about how successful this game is going to be. They reckon that it can beat out the Spider-Man game that came out and got pretty good reviews as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if the game is good, it can overcome potato faces, as Oblivion will testify.
Yes.
It's just a little jarring. It's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah, well, the voices are going to be different. I'm assuming that it's not following the Thanos storyline with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
And it's taking place in a different version of the Marvel Universe. I suppose in a way, it's kind of like when you have a different artist doing the comics. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds to say, but this is something that you do have to get used to as somebody who reads comic books, for example.
Oh, yeah. And there's people who swear by certain artists and won't switch. Like, they'll be, oh, this comic artist is on it now? Oh, okay, I'm going to stop reading that. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, despite missing out on the story.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's something that people have dealt with, and I don't know. If the game is good, the game is good. It's just going to be weird if every time Tony Stark talks, he's doing a Robert Downey impersonation, and it's just like,
oh god, that's the thing.
You know, looking at this picture, Bruce kind of looks like Todd Howard.
Do you think that's who they based it on?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the cast, I think Laura Bailey, very well respected voice actor, one of my favourites. I enjoy her work, and I enjoy Critical Role a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's going to try and do her best Scarlett Johansson impression.
Be very breathy and husky. No.
I mean, she does do husky very well, but I'm hoping that she goes her own way with it.
Yeah, the thing is,
but again, that's up to the director.
The thing is with Black Widow, that's not really part of her personality. Like, I feel like with Iron Man, I don't know what he's like in the comics, but the film version is basically Robert Downey Jr. being himself, cracking wise, right? So that'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see how the performances are for it. I want to see what people are doing with it. I want to see a Thor, right, with a Scandinavian accent.
That would be good.
That's what I want.
Jarl Thor.
Not a posh English accent. No, I want a Scandinavian accent for Thor. I want, that's all I want, really. I want a Scandinavian accent for Thor.
Let's get the actor for Ulfric or something. I haven't voiced it.
Nah. Schwarzenegger.
Damn elves.
Damn elves. It's not even Scandinavian, though, is it? It's a Scandinavian-esque accent that they supposedly developed specifically for Skyrim, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Ulfric has a unique voice. There's the generic voice that sounds like Arnold, which is not as Scandinavian. It's more Austrian. Yeah.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee. That was more like fucking, I don't know, Italian. I don't know. I don't do accents that aren't English. I don't.
How is you were working on a Scottish accent, weren't you?
Northern Irish.
Oh, that's right, Northern Irish. How is that going?
It's going terribly.
You think you're gonna lose your job?
No, but I think I might offend some people at work.
It's quite possible. You know what? Too bad.
I'm from Ireland. I
Disrespect the
escaped
law.
from the prison.
You disrespect me.
Dirty.
No lollygagging.
No lollygagging. Oh, somebody stole your sweet roll.
Yeah, but it's weird. There's this intersection of like movies and video games and TV, and it's all
Interesting age to be living in.
yeah, they're all influencing each other in ways that are unintended in some cases.
Yeah.
So hopefully the game's good.
That's the thing, when you have one visual medium crossing into another visual medium, it's gonna cause some shit.
Yeah. Especially because we've become accustomed to certain faces and associating them with specific characters. So it takes like a second to kind of strip that from your mind. But yeah, that has nothing to do with the actual shows in question and games in question. So hopefully they're all good. Here.
I'm always willing to try out new things, honestly.
Nice. What else were we going to talk about?
Summer games done quick.
Oh, yes.
So that was this weekend, Summer Games Done Quick. Now, this is something that I've followed on and off for years. So, basically put, it's a speedrunning charity marathon where they're generally raising money for Doctors Without Borders.
Good cause.
And I love speedrunning. I love watching speedruns. There is the Oblivion speedrun is the first speedrun that I've ever watched, and I love it. It is fantastic. It is so clever and so skillful how people can go about and move their mouse in a certain way and use all these glitches to their advantages. Inbounds are my favourite ones. Inbound speedruns are my absolute favourite because it's working within the mechanics of the game and not leaving the space of the game. Mm-hmm. And you can still get through a campaign that in Oblivion was... How long was the Oblivion campaign?
I'm not sure.
I'd say for me it took me about 10 hours to get through the main quest.
See, it's hard to put a figure on that because any kind of open world game, you're just not going to follow the main quest. There's just so many different threads to follow that are unnecessary for a speedrun.
But if you did just focus on the main quest, I'd say I spent about 10 hours on the main quest. But that is because I'm a person who searches every chest.
No.
I pick every lock, that sort of thing. And they managed to do the entirety of the main quest in 50 minutes.
That's crazy. But the thing is, you're skipping dialogue, though, too, right?
Yeah, you are skipping
Yeah.
dialogue. You're not playing it for the story.
Yeah.
But you're playing it within the confines of the game.
If you skipped all the dialogue, you could probably... I mean, it's not going to be 50 minutes, but it wouldn't be 10 hours, I'm sure, if you're...
Maybe 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, so...
With all the dungeon crawls, I mean, those fucking alien ruins. Ooh.
The thing about speedruns in general, it's a different kind of skill. It's just learning to be more efficient and finding gains on the margins in the most extreme way possible, right? Because it's a competition, and so you're competing against somebody else who's constantly trying to build a better mousetrap, and so you're looking for any fraction of a second of a gain. And that just leads to interesting choices. Like you find out what are the most efficient spells, what are the fastest ways to defeat certain bosses or to navigate certain levels, and everything from your movement to your combat style and all of that comes into play, right?
And it's a different style of playing, and it's so clever.
Yes, yeah.
It's so fucking clever how they can do that.
No, it's an intellectual exercise. It treats video games like a puzzle to be solved, right?
Yeah.
And as opposed to a game or story to be played. And so it's somewhat counterintuitive to how like you would normally play a video game. So I think that's why it seems so interesting and clever just to watch it as an outsider who... Yeah,
it's just so fascinating watching something that you have spent hours on just be completed like that in it's art.
Especially a game that isn't intended to be played that way. Like if you're playing a platformer, it's part of the design to try and quickly navigate through these levels.
Yeah, to try and get your time as quick as possible. With an RPG, that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah. It's almost made to be deliberate, and then here you are finding ways to kind of skip through that. Yeah, so... Yeah, I could see why that is entertaining, just from a just watching somebody solve a puzzle, it's satisfying to see. So
yeah.
yeah.
And it's got a competitive element to it, which requires you to be good at a game in a different way.
Yes. And not just good, but smart about how you...
Yeah, you've got
things.
to plan your route. You've got to... Every time that you go for a world record attempt, you have got to rehearse it hundreds of times. It's dedication. And if you do one wrong thing, that's it. You've got to restart.
It's a bit like those old
games. Because when the difference
games.
is a minute, yeah.
Like have you ever seen the King of Kong, like that documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where it's just like you play, and if you just do one thing wrong or whatever, it's just
it's ruined it.
Yeah, you only have like 3 lives to begin with, right? And so it's all based on scores, and the competition in that stuff is fierce, and so
yeah, I just think it's really fantastic. It's such a fun sport to watch. Like, I would much rather watch somebody skillfully playing and speedrunning a game that I enjoy rather than, say, watching competitive Dota. Maybe it's just because of the genres that I'm into, but I much prefer watching people navigate a single player game quickly and efficiently than I would seeing them play against different people, because you're playing against a computer program if you're doing a speed run, and you're playing against yourself, and that's just how I enjoy games. I'm somebody who enjoys single player over multiplayer, and I find that the way that they've managed to introduce a competitive element to a single player game, like, who the fuck thought up, you know what I want to do? I want to try and use the fucking paintbrush glitch to finish Oblivion in 50 minutes. Who fucking thought of that?
What is the paintbrush glitch?
You haven't heard of the paintbrush glitch?
No, I might have, but I forgot about it. So.
Basically, paintbrushes didn't have any physics applied to them. So you drop them, and wherever your cursor was, it'd just stay, so you could make a ladder and climb over the walls. It was fantastic. It turned Skyrim, it turned Oblivion into a platformer.
Oh, yeah. The feature.
It was fantastic. Or the arrow duplication glitch, where you could duplicate anything that you wanted by, I think, double-clicking on it, double-clicking on the item that you wanted duplicated, and equipping and unequipping arrows. And then the amount of arrows that you had in there, you'd then drop whatever you wanted duplicated.
Tamriel is a strange world.
Yeah, so you could end up with, like, 1,000 different scrolls of fire or something. It was...
And sell them and become rich.
Yeah. That game was honestly just...
Real life doesn't have glitches
a mess.
like that.
Unfortunately.
Or else we would... I guess it wouldn't work, because then everybody would do it, and then inflation would kick in. The value of our scrolls would be worthless, because we'd all have scrolls. Millions.
Like the Weimar Republic.
But that it really is something you can carry over to your lifestyle if you wanted to. You could try and be more efficient in there, everything you do. So get things done faster. Listen to podcasts at 1.5 times speed. Things like that. It's just a lot of little life hacks. Yes.
Get more done.
I think when I listen back to our pods, like to edit them, I listen at 1.4 times speed. So we basically both sound like chipmunks. I'm used to your voice sounding like a chipmunk. Yes. It's like, yes, like, who is this?
Is it weird every time that you call up and it's just like...
Is this your stunt double? Is this Alice's stunt double?
Low pitched.
Is this Laura Bailey? Because I'm used to this child voice screaming very loud opinions.
Yeah, so so Summer Games Done Quick was this week, and over the course of the week, they actually managed to beat their previous record and raise £3 million.
Wow, it's a lot of pounds.
For Doctors Without Borders.
A lot of kilos.
That's a lot of kilos indeed. That's about 1.5 kilos. 1.5 million kilos, sorry.
Yes. If a conversion is correct, but yeah.
But yeah, it's just really impressive. It's a fun talent, and they're putting it towards a good cause. At the end of the day, it's not just competitiveness for competitive sake. It's just so impressive to watch.
Is there a particular game you would like to speedrun? Have you been inspired to give it a try?
VTMB. I want to do a Masquerade Bloodlines speedrun.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of which, they came out with some new trailers, some gameplay trailers, didn't they? the new game?
I have seen. So, wasn't it at E3? Basically, loads of different games outlets were allowed access to a sort of demo where they told a dev what they wanted to do, and the dev would do it. Because I remember seeing Outside Xbox's video this week on it, which was quite fun. They did a video on how best to be an asshole.
Something we know intuitively.
Yeah. But one thing that I found quite interesting that came out as part of their gameplay was they mentioned how drinking on people in different emotional states affects your perks. Now, I'm only familiar with the Masquerade system of tabletop, so I don't know if that's a feature that's been implemented from Requiem or if it's a unique gameplay feature that they've decided to do. But I think it's going to be quite interesting how you are then forced to be picky about your prey depending on the type of character that you want to be.
So, as an asshole, what kind of prey do you eat? Whose blood do I suck?
Assholes.
Other assholes?
CEOs, maybe. Confident. It depends on what kind of asshole do you want to be. Do you want to be a confident wanker, or do you just want to be a violent asshole?
So basically, they're following the "you are what you eat" policy then.
Yeah.
Because I would think that if you were an asshole, it would make more sense to me if you would eat like good people. Like an asshole would eat a very nice person who's donating to charity, maybe a speedrunner or something.
Yeah.
A good person would eat a money grabbing CEO or just a dick, a criminal or something. Like good people eat or suck on the blood of criminals. But I don't know. I guess is sucking on the blood of somebody, is that a harmful act, or maybe it's a neutral act? I'm not sure.
Well, from what I'm aware of in the system, it's basically deemed as being kind of a dickish thing, so long as you don't kill them. They're gonna have a good time out of it, because it's basically like they're having an orgasm.
Oh, okay. So in that case,
it makes it quite pleasant for you.
But it's kind of an assault, right? No, it's not consensual. So I guess, yeah. I mean, now we're getting into all kinds of weird territory, but yeah. I guess basically they want to keep it simple. You are what you eat. You're an asshole, you eat other assholes. You're a good person, you apparently assault good people. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But the game, just watching the gameplay, it seemed like it was very, very diverse, and that there are a lot of different ways to tackle a single problem, which is good, which is what we like.
Yeah. From what I've seen, I mean, everyone knows that I'm excited about this game. From what I've seen,
no,
I'm more excited about it.
Really? I didn't get that impression, but...
I know, it's really difficult to tell because of the flatness in my voice, but from what I've seen from the gameplay, but I'm trying to temper my expectations, because we all know gameplay footage that has been vetted, and especially given the nature of the demo that it was, where it wasn't a hands-on demo, it was you tell the devs what you want to do and they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to temper my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, the one part that I thought, and I told you this on Discord, looked really janky was the combat.
Yeah.
Like everything about the game.
It's an alpha.
Yeah, looked AAA, and then as soon as a fight broke out, it was Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Everybody just turned really stiff, and the animations were clunky, and
But you know what is a fantastic animation? The dancing.
Well, that thing just basically ported over, I'm sure, right, from the old game.
Tell me that you're not excited to see my new mocap video.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Well, it's basically going to be the same as the old mocap video, right? It's the same dance.
No, it's different dancing. It's a different dance.
Is it? I thought they ported over the same old dance from the old game.
No, it's a different dance.
Oh.
It's different moves, man. Honestly. One thing that I have noticed people have been saying about this... about the game is that a lot of people are quite upset that it's gotten rid of kind of like the early noughties gothy aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
They say that it's been more sanitized to make it more PC or whatever. This is what I've seen in certain Twitter circles and things like that. And at the end of the day, it's not set in early noughties LA.
Seattle.
So I feel like it's probably, I feel like it's saying more true to modern day Seattle. Like, yes, the kind of gothy aesthetic is a big part of the VTM atmosphere, but at the same time, we don't have that kind of culture.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle. What are we gonna expect out of Seattle culture? Just hipsters and people listening to Nirvana. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm expecting grunge. I'm expecting more grungy aesthetic than an outright gothy aesthetic like what we
A
got
lot
in
of
the...
flannel shirts is what you're saying.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm anticipating. I'm
Let's
anticipating the characters to dress like me.
Oh, are you big on grunge now? Are you going through a grunge flannel shirt phase?
I go between either wearing grunge stuff or looking like a medieval princess. It's one of the two.
It's interesting. I wonder what Seattle looks like now. Like, what is the aesthetic there now? Is it the same as in the 90s? Because my vision of Seattle is the same as my vision of New Jersey. It's completely based on stereotypes. So,
Well, the thing is, fashion is cyclical.
that is true.
So, at the minute, the 90s are having a very big resurgence. And
nice.
flannel's very in. Ripped jeans,
Nice.
shorts, things like that, heroin chic.
I could
That's
go through
all
my
very
closet.
in. Yeah,
Be back in fashion.
that's all very in and very fashionable. So I'm expecting that instead of going for the outright gothy aesthetic that they had in a game that, let's remind everyone, came out in 2006 when emo culture was rife. I reckon it's going to be going for a more toned down grungy aesthetic rather than what they had in 2006 game.
We'll see. I mean, the fact that it's in a completely different location would lend to that it would have a different look. I don't know if it's going to be as much of a departure as, like, let's say Elder Scrolls games are when they change locations, but it's still a different location. So
A different culture.
yeah, I mean, that's good. It's always good to keep things fresh, and part of a good way to do that is just to change the scenery, change the location. Even like a game like Fallout in Boston and DC or in California are completely different games. So it's yeah. When is it coming out? Next year?
Yeah, 2020.
Early 2020 or late 2020?
I think spring 2020.
Oh, that's like when Cyberpunk comes out too. There's a lot of games that are coming out.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to get my new computer sorted. I found one. Don't
Oh
worry.
yeah, have you?
Yeah.
Laptop?
No, I'm going for a proper desktop.
Oh.
A desktop, you can at least, even if you get one that's pre-built, you can then swap out components.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Which is cheaper than buying a whole new thing.
Yeah, it is. It depends how many of the parts you have to replace, but yeah, it definitely saves you some cash. It's saving on the margins. It's just like speed running. There you go. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
Speed running at life.
And you don't have to wait for delivery of the new computer.
Except for the end, we want to keep the end as far away as possible.
Yeah.
That part you don't want to speed run to, but.
No, I don't want to speedrun to the end of our relationship, Chris.
I know.
Never.
We have to take it week by week. Go very, very slow. Just bit by bit. Anything else going on in your life, speaking of which, that you'd like to share? Anything else monumental?
No, I believe that's everything that we've got for this week. So that was episode 96, was it?
Yes. We're marching on toward the magical 100.
So I think we should start opening out a plea for questions for our 100th episode, which is going to be drunk. The end of the world shall be live streamed.
We'll have both Polish and Russian vodka for this occasion.
Yes. So please, if you have any questions for us about anything at all, send them through on the Discord, put them in the comments section, we'll gather them up and we'll get wankered and talk shit, which is what we basically do anyway, but it's going to be special because it's 100 episodes in.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I should buy some Prosecco.
Yes, why not?
Make it real fancy.
Oh, some fancy wine.
Yeah.
And Prosecco.
Some fancy wine.
Vodka.
Some champagne.
We'll have it all.
Some Prosecco.
A fancy
Yeah,
eats.
it's going to be a wild old time. We're going to be shotting shrimp.
Yes, we're going to do the whole podcast in our rich people voices.
Hello. I bought this bottle of Prosecco for £5. Can you imagine?
Oh, God. Imagine an entire podcast in that voice.
Oh, God, nobody would watch. We could tell them all of our dirty little secrets and nobody would listen.
Do all kinds of crazy shit at the end, like face reveals and...
Yeah. I mean, my face is already out, so I'll do a boob reveal.
Whoa. Yes, that
I won't do a boob reveal.
That is definitely going to I mean,
Up the viewers.
yeah. Viewers are gonna skyrocket. We'll put up on all the special channels, and then I'll do a dick reveal, but it won't be an actual dick. It'll be a picture of Dick Grayson because jokes, but yeah.
Nah. And mine will just be a picture of some blue tits.
Yes. Those are lovely, lovely birds.
They're so adorable, aren't they?
But we have to hype it up
great
at the
tits.
beginning of the podcast. Tit and dick reveal.
Shh, we're letting everybody know.
True. We'll just edit.
So that will be our title for our 100th episode, the tit and dick reveal.
Yeah, there we go. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be on Pornhub.com.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're probably going to get demonetized.
So, and next week we'll, I guess, talk about Stranger Things and some other things.
Is Stranger Things out next week?
I think it's out in a few days, July 4th.
Oh, shit! Oh, damn! Right, well, great. I'll brace myself.
All right.
Whew.
Bracing. Seatbelt fastened. And
Excellent.
We'll talk next week.
See you later.
Later. Bye. Okay, so here's a hypothetical for you. And I think this is from a Chuck Klosterman book, but I'm not sure. But it goes something like this. Let's say I grant you one wish, right? You can have any wish you want in the world. But in exchange, every song that you hear, no matter what it is, no matter where you are, you know, what the context is, it's sung by Scott Stapp, lead singer of Creed. That's the trade-off.
So
Do you take this? Do you take this deal?
no.
Any wish, Alice.
No, I don't.
It's too much of a sacrifice.